After a thorough research on the topic, I've concluded that there are two types of people: those who criticize Emilia's character and those who lost the waifu war. Sorry, but we're not tackling that side of the argument, mainly because it's subjective, while I want to focus on what we can actually see. And boy do we have something to look at. Hello comrade, my name is Mahis. Come, get yourself a beverage and sit down with me. We got a fandom to enrage. First of all, the exposition. Why do so many dislike this ray of sunshine? Apparently, she's bland, useless, and only exists to motivate MC to do stuff.
What?
These are the three most commonly mentioned issues, so if I haven't talked about your specific complaint, take it to the comments and we'll discuss it there. For now, starting with the lack of flavor, that is just incorrect. Emilia is a kind, gentle soul, much more than anybody else in the show. However, she's just as capable of displaying other qualities. Heck, she can even kill if the situation demands it. At this point, they've only known each other for a few days, yet she can tell that something is bothering our dude and that he's in desperate need of emotional support. Obviously, Leah has no clue what it is and likely assumes it's from Subaru's past. Still, she sees a person in trouble, she goes out of her way to help them. It's the foundation of her personality, and that's what we've seen several times already. Next, we get to witness her from a much meaner side, as literally within the same week, Adidas boy tags along to the capital, breaks his promise and throws a fit. No shit she flipped a switch on him, since you need Tanjiro's levels of benevolence to tolerate this. Emilia is rightfully pissed, and basically lets him go. Sure, there was no raging or argument involved, because she's not that type of person. Also, this is about the second time we get a hint that a promise is very important to her. Not to say that it usually isn't, but something is there, and only later we find out that people in her life have a tendency to break their vows, which has traumatized her, similar to how Sasori got his impatient shtick from waiting for his parents for too long. Lastly, the infamous trials. Our silver-haired fairy is behaving quite selfishly here. Yes, she really wants to free these people, but the emphasis is on she, not on freeing. You see, the villagers discriminate against her just like everybody else. They don't trust the witch lookalike, and this is a perfect opportunity to show them that Emilia is a genuinely good woman who wants to see their families reunited after such a scary turn of events. Plus, she will score a point over the competition in the royal selection. Remember, her goal is to become the Hokage of the village hidden by the dragon, and in order to do that, she's actively studying, taking on an occasional side hustle, and increasing her reputation within the community. Now, how can you possibly call a character one-dimensional when they have a clear ambition, defined personality, and a wide range of behavioral responses? Not to mention all the other plot-related stuff like being an off-brand Satella, the Frozen Forest situation, and so on. I understand that she might not be interesting to some, as, comparatively speaking, she got way less development than the rest of the cast, but that doesn't make her own persona bland. Secondly, we have to address the uselessness. There is some truth to that, since she indeed hasn't done anything of grand importance other than the sanctuary. However, not doing anything and not being able to do anything are two very different things. For the most part, Emilia doesn't participate in major events simply because she's not aware of what's happening. Elsa was an ambush, Witch's cult was an ambush. Hell, even Miley was a fucking imposter. There's literally no way for anybody to respond to this, since you need to quick load a few times just to understand what in Ainsama's name is happening over here. When she does make an appearance though, Leah is surprisingly capable. Thugs were no problem, Elsa got a run for her money, and even Giza's cheeks were clapped, in addition to killing Baruso a few times. She can do stuff, it's just that there's hardly ever an occasion, and let's be honest, other characters often take the spotlight, with the only exception being the later half of the second season, where we finally learn some of that juicy backstory. It turns out, she has been through some serious shit. But all this time, those memories were sealed, so no wonder she appeared a bit shallow, as a chunk of her life experience was literally missing. I can't imagine remembering so much at once, and it explains why she was struggling for a while to the point when Puck, aka the parent and protector of hers, has made an executive decision to disappear in the middle of the process, forcing her to become more independent. And with Subaru's encouragement, Emilia finally put the pieces of herself together through the series of trials. This is the long-awaited point of character development. She doesn't come out of it as a deus ex machina ready to Sauron her way through the enemies. No, that'd be stupid. Instead, we see more confidence and determination, like when she gave Mr. Clownass a Tatakai talk and even got up close and personal with him. Emilia from the beginning of the series would never do that. Not to Ross, so when people say that there is no growth here, they are wrong, and it brings me to the final point. The story as a whole. We simply can't draw conclusions this early because we're not even knees deep into what this series has in store for us. If you look closely, you'd realize that the entire season 1 is, for all intents and purposes, a prologue. We're introduced to the world, tossed into a sea of characters, and slammed with random bits of lore that barely means anything. Only with the next season do we slow down and begin to work our way through the story. It would be very uninteresting if all the characters, especially the main cast, were perfectly refined right from the get-go, as there wouldn't have been a need for a journey and most certainly no satisfying payoff in the end. One Punch Man kinda does that, and even there we can clearly see Saitama evolving as a person. He got friends! But seriously, if all he did was punch some monsters and not interact with anybody as he used to before Genos, there'd be way less appeal. That's why a character arc is so important. The problem is, too many characters. Who got the most development in the first season? Rem? Subaru? Maybe Ram? Now imagine that we would have had to learn Byakuya and Ross's backstory, their current goals and motivation, on top of discovering Emilia's past with some cold action sprinkled around, all in one season. Our attention would have been spread even thinner than it already is, as there are so many moving parts that it took me 2 full watch-throughs to get a solid grasp of the situation. ReZero is way too convoluted for its own good, because it doesn't follow a standard question-answer formula, and from what I see on the forums, most people miss so many crucial intricacies that it's not even funny. Like, how dare he pick Emilia over Rem? Well, maybe because he is the only one who never hurt Subaru, while the horny one has brutally murdered him twice. What I'm saying here is be patient, and regardless of your financial situation, pay attention. It's easy to take a character at face value, but it's also dangerous, because by doing so, you paint a picture that is very hard to alter, since we as humans naturally look for things that confirm our opinions. Be stronger than that. Love, hate, or even don't care about a certain aspect of the show all you want, as long as you take the whole thing into account. It was I, Mahis, broadening your horizons into the microphone. Check out Discord and Patreon in the description if you like. Otherwise, have a great, whatever time of the day you have. Until next time, cheers.